What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Coffee with Dudes podcast. Today, I'm going to be diving into a solo pod. Alex and I had mix-ups on schedule, and we're both busy, so we're trying to get in some solo pods here, so it'll be just me today. And today's podcast is going to be on specifically what can you do to find yourself in a position if you are constantly looking for things like hormone replacement therapy, peptides, what supplements to take. And it almost seems like these quick fixes, or you're not quite sure if maybe you're asking the right questions. These are questions that I get constantly. And so I'm going to help you level set so that you can maximize those things. It's not that those things don't work. They absolutely work. But where people struggle is they set their foundational piece on those things, thinking that that's going to be the end all be all, that that's the silver bullet, that that's the one thing that they're missing. And before I get started, I need to know that answer so that I can get all my attention and focus specifically on this one thing. And so what I say to those people, like, so for example, I got a question the other day from one of my really good buddies, college teammate, awesome dude, hell of a guy. His question was, should I do cardio before or after weights, or after my strength training? Because right now I'm strength training 3 times a week. I just started, and I want to mix in my cardio. I'm doing kind of like a run / brisk walk on an incline. Should I be doing that 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after my workouts, was his question. So first of all, props to this individual for taking control of his life, right? Taking control of his health and saying, you know what, I need to move my body a little bit more. That's first and foremost. That's a huge win. The problem with questions like this is it puts the cart before the horse, right? So for him, he's just starting out. He hasn't proved yet to himself that he can be consistent enough with everything that he's doing. He's more so wanting to know answers before he pursues this with consistency. And that's how our mind thinks, right? We want to get all the right data. We want to get all the right answers before we jump in and start on this new journey. It's because we don't want to have any wasted time, wasted effort. We want to make sure we're doing exactly the thing that's going to move the needle the most for us. And so we come up with these questions that we feel are like in seek of the data that's going to be the thing that we've been missing the whole time. And that's the answer. And that's going to change everything for us. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And so a good perspective to level set if you're in that boat, and what I tell people quite a bit, is to make sure that whatever you choose, like even if you choose the quote unquote shittiest program, even if you choose like a diet that isn't, you know, isn't the perfect diet or doesn't have all the pieces to the puzzle in place for you, but you have the ability to stick to it and stick to it consistently, that's by far most important, rather than what workout you're doing, what program you're following, what diet you're choosing to do. Like, the thing that you're going to stick with the longest is going to be the best thing for you. So even if there is other or better programs out there that you can deem as like more beneficial for you, if you don't have the likelihood to stick to it consistently, it doesn't matter how good the program is, because you're not going to stick to it anyways. So the underlying theme here is, what can you stay consistent with for the longest period of time, right? What's the most sustainable thing? And if you can look at whatever you approach through that lens, it's going to be so much easier for you. You'll filter out through all the quick fixes. You'll filter out through, and what you'll do is, instead of relying on the hormone replacement therapy, the peptides, the what supplement you should take, like all those things are great. But those things are in addition to, once you've already had the ball rolling and you got momentum going and you're already consistent. Most people's biggest hurdle is being consistent with anything. I don't care what it is. Like, it doesn't matter the diet, it doesn't matter the exercise program, it doesn't matter the protocol. If you're not consistent yet, we have to figure that part out first. And consistency looks like imperfection each and every single day. How imperfectly can you move the needle each and every single day? And once you can figure that out, and you've practiced the art of showing up for yourself, we talked about this in other episodes. Once you can do that, then you can start getting cute and fancy and worrying about the supplements and what sort of hormones you may be deficient at and or need help with, right? And when in terms of looking at your blood panel and where you're deficient, and like things like that. You could do all that stuff, and all those things work. But if you don't have the ball rolling and you're not already consistent with something, the effectiveness, the impact of them is going to be very, very minimal, because you're focusing on things that are they're kind of like the toppings, right? You need to get your good solid base first. You need to get that compound base first. You need to have the ice cream before you start putting on the, frozen yogurt. You got to have the frozen yogurt first before you start putting the toppings on. Otherwise, you're just going to have toppings. You're going to have no frozen yogurt, right? So most people are focused so deeply on what toppings to pick and what should be the best toppings to choose for them when they need that base foundation first, right? So what's your frozen yogurt, right? Like what's your base foundation? Let's get that first. Hell, let's get the cup, right? You need the cup or the cone to put it in first. That's really the foundation, right? So a lot of people are starting with toppings and they don't have a foundation to place it in. They don't have a foundation to base it off of, to put those things onto. And so if you can think of it as like that, I love frozen yogurt. I just had it this weekend. So that's what made me think of that. But if you can think of it like that first, let me build my foundation. Well, how do I build my foundation? I build my foundation through being consistent, showing up imperfectly for myself every day, regardless of what I'm doing, regardless of the workout, regardless of the nutrition protocol. Doesn't matter, right? Like the fundamentals are always going to be paramount, because if they're not there, you can do all the, peptide, hormone replacement therapy, top supplements out there, the cleanest, most high quality supplements. It doesn't matter if you're not consistent. You're just going to be wasting money, right? At the end of the day. So we don't want to be wasting money. We want to maximize those additional aspects to our health and fitness journey. And we want to be able to utilize them to our advantage and get the most from them. We need to start with the base foundation. The base foundation is a couple things, but first and foremost, it's consistency, like we talked about, showing up each and every single day. The other piece of it that nobody's really going to talk about is your mindset around this. And part of the mindset is not wanting to jump ship when things get difficult to try to go and find this silver bullet. One of my coaches and mentors explained it to me. It's like, on a daily basis, we're going to be busy picking up hundreds of gold BBs when people are looking for one silver bullet. And if you take that approach, what are 100 gold BBs look like? A gold BB can be anything like being grateful for the position that you're in just to start this day, to put yourself in the perspective of, I get to do this. I don't have to do this. That's a gold BB. Am I capitalizing and making sure that I'm setting a good wind down routine so that I can maximize my sleep, so that instead of relying on hormone replacement therapy, I can capitalize on my body's natural aspects and increasing my body's natural growth hormone through getting quality sleep? Am I doing that? That's a gold BB. Am I making sure that I'm gradually transitioning to a nutrition protocol that's a little bit more sustainable for me? And in doing so, I might have to take things out versus adding things in, right? Maybe I have to get myself in a position where I'm drinking a little bit more water and less soda, right? Or maybe I transitioned to diet sodas because I was drinking the real thing, and now I need to go into the diets, and then eventually I want to get all the way over to water, right? Like, what thing are you going to be able to show up to consistently, no matter how big or how small, but you can do it imperfectly each and every single day? And those are the foundational pieces. And if you can do those, I know it sounds easier than you're probably anticipating. And that's a good thing. I think a lot of people go from zero, where they're currently starting, and they want to do all these crazy things. They want to get the best supplements. They want to be on the best hormone replacement therapy. They want to know what the best peptides for them are, like all these crazy things. And it's like, those are the toppings. Those are like the last things that you put on. So finding ways to show up for yourself. We've talked about anchors on the show before. Being able to really harness those and dial those in are going to by far set you up way more success with way more success for longer periods of time in a sustainable manner, if you can get those foundational pieces first. Okay. So that would be my 2 cents for you today. Again, it can go down so many different avenues, but to, again, recap, what is the thing that people that I see struggle with the most is they're looking for the silver bullet. Should I do my cardio before or after my workout? What's the best protein that I should be taking? When it comes to hormone replacement therapy, should I take it or should I not? Do you think I'm old enough or not? It's like, all those things are completely dependent on what you're currently doing right now. And are you maximizing and being consistent in a routine right now that's beneficial for you, that's moving in the right direction? If not, start there. And then all those other things will come with time if you need them. You may find out that you don't even need them, right? Like if you're asking what's the best, whey supplement protein powder, but all of a sudden you have really good consistency with prioritizing high quality lean meat sources that you're able to hit protein targets almost effortlessly, you may not need a protein powder. A protein powder is great. It can work as a great supplement in addition to high quality food sources, single ingredient lean protein sources, but you may not even need a supplement, right? So don't feel like just because somebody else is doing something that you need to rely on that. A lot of times, if you don't need something like that, you may just be wasting money because you found a way to be consistent. You've found a way to prioritize high quality food sources, and you may not need some of those supplements that you think you need. And so I say all that just to say, work on building your foundation. Figure out what your anchors are that you can show up for yourself. Practice that first. Practice showing up for yourself each and every single day, imperfectly. And can you stay consistent for extended periods of time? What do the next 6 months look like for you if you showed up for yourself each and every single day in some sort of capacity, right? More than what you're doing right now. And that could be something as small as, let's say, hypothetically, you're currently walking 3,000 steps a day right now. Well, can you show up imperfectly? We love our clients going by weekly averages. So across your 7-day step count average, which by the way is in your health app, it's free in your phone already. It's already calculating your steps, whether you know it or not. Especially if you have an Apple Watch, it's going with you everywhere. If not, just carry your phone with you. You already do. And then pop it open, look at it. And let's just say hypothetically, your current 7-day average is 3,000 steps. Well, each and every single day, that doesn't mean every step count per day needs to be over 3,000. You can have some that are 7. You can have some that might be 2, right? But your average, try to bump that 1,000 to 2,000 steps above that 3,000 steps and see if you can keep that consistent for the next month, for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months straight. Now you have energy expenditure, right? The amount of calories that you're burning in a day, and you're being consistent with that because you've gradually increased your step count over the last 6 months, and you've been really consistent with it. Then you can go into the next step. But I think a lot of people are like going from 0 and they're wanting to go run, right? And what happens is you have injuries, you have tweaks, you have nicks, you have bangs, you have things that just keep you out. And now what's the likelihood of you being consistent for the next 6 months when you go from 0 straight into running? Very minimal, right? And you get discouraged, and then you look for the next best thing. Well, maybe I should be riding a bike instead, or maybe I should be swimming, or maybe all these crazy things. It's like, just walk more than what you currently are, and prove to yourself that you can do it each and every single day, and walk more than your 3,000 per day weekly average, and see if you can stick to that for the next 1 month, the next 3 months, and the next 6 months and beyond. And if you can, now you got some momentum. Now you can start looking at the next stage. Man, you know what? Now I want to start implementing that cardio where I'm actually running, because I'm proving to myself I can show up consistently. I can actually do this. This is great. I got momentum on my side now. Now I can build off of it. And that's where we want you to get. We don't want you to go from 0 to do something that's totally unsustainable, and then you slide back to 0 before you know it. And then you're looking for the next best thing. You're like, oh, that didn't work. What's the next silver bullet? Right? So instead of those silver bullets, pick up the gold BBs each and every single day. They're there. It's almost the things that seem too easy, too simple, too small, that aren't going to have an impact, that you're not going to see immediately, but they compound over time. And over time, once you've shown that you can be consistent for yourself, you can add all those other things after. You can add the toppings later, right? So get yourself the foundation, get the cup, get the cone, get the frozen yogurt first, get your bases first, and then you can add on all the toppings later. The toppings are great, but make sure you have that base, that foundation. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, shoot us a message. We love talking to you guys. If this was helpful for you, be sure to share it with a friend, family member, somebody you feel like could benefit from it, and even just take some golden nuggets and better their life from it. So until then, we will catch you guys on the next one.